New developments tonight at a N4 Tucson investigation. The midwife who gave up her license after a mother and baby died under her care was caught practicing again without it. N4 Tucson's chief investigative reporter, Corus Nylander, is live from the west side with more on this developing case. Corus, what's new?
Yeah, well, Sean, the N4 Tucson investigators first told you about this horrible situation back in July. A midwife with a history of violations had a mother and her baby die during childbirth in Safford last year. That mother's widower predicted that she would continue practicing without her license, which she gave up in the middle of a state investigation, and the state says that's exactly what happened.
I think the world lost one of the greatest human beings ever.
Every day, Parker Terry has to live with the pain and grief of losing his wife, Jordan, and the son he never got to know, Mac. Both died while Jordan was giving birth back in December at the home they shared in Safford, under the care of midwife Sarah Kankowitz.
It's lots of feelings that I navigate on a daily basis of anger, of sadness, of depression.
What Parker didn't know at the time, Kankowitz had a history of repeated violations with the Arizona Department of Health Services. The state determined that while caring for Jordan, Kankowitz made several critical errors. It began the process to suspend her license, and she willingly gave it up in June, barred from practicing midwifery for 15 years. Parker wasn't satisfied, fearing she would practice without her license.
Tighten up some regulations so it doesn't happen to anybody what's happened to us.
Sharing those fears was Heather Flowers, who nearly lost her life during childbirth under the care of Kankowitz years before Jordan.
My main concern is that she will continue to practice unlicensed.
That's exactly what she did, according to the state. In a civil lawsuit filed earlier this month, the Attorney General's office provided screenshots from Kankowitz's business, Wild Birth Services, stating, quote, "Ever wonder what happens in the state of Arizona when an unlicensed midwife tries to continue to practice? Let's find out together." Well, she found out, but the consequences well below Parker's hopes. In the lawsuit, the state accused Kankowitz of committing a felony, but she wouldn't see any criminal charges. Both parties settled last week. Kankowitz was banned from applying for a midwife license for 20 years, just 5 years longer than what was already determined in her June settlement with the state when she gave up her license.
It just feels like another slap in the face.
Parker says he has become too overwhelmed to keep doing interviews, but provided us a statement reading, quote, "Sarah has a heavy track record of citations and fines as well as deaths. The ruling of just extending her license revocation 5 years simply does nothing in this case, as she has already proved to practice as a midwife with the original 15-year ban. It's common knowledge that she will continue to practice. This is a Class 6 felony. Where is the justice?" And that's how Parker Terry and Heather Flowers are left to feel that there's been no justice in this case. Parker tells me he wants to see more regulations over midwives, more transparency when there are violations, but he feels that will mean very little if there are so few repercussions for midwives that practice without a license. We're live from the west side tonight. Corus Nylander, N4 Tucson.
Pretty amazing. Thank you, Corus. You can read Parker Terry's full statement on our website at KVOA.com.